When you understand personality preferences, you can more readily appreciate the differences between you and the people who are closest to you, such as your spouses, maybe your partner, your children, your friends, even other family members. And in most areas of life, when differences between you and someone else are bothersome or frustrating, you can actually avoid them in some kind of way. But what if that person is your best friend? Or maybe that person's a loved one, a family member, or even your spouse. You'd have to do a lot or lose a lot to walk away from it. So knowledge of personality type allows us to see the differences as those, just as being different, not right or wrong, we're just all different. So instead of labeling someone or putting value judgments on their behavior, you can start to see that behavior reflects their personality type or their preference. And it's not really designed to offend you or frustrate you or make you angry. Many couples can learn to appreciate the differences and even can see them through a humorous light. The ESTJ is very dependable. They are responsible, although they do tend to be a little bit opinionated. They love routine, and especially when it comes to family traditions, because they want to create a stable atmosphere and lots of security for their children and their spouse. Now, they can be a little bit domineering, and especially when it comes to their schedules. They want schedules and routine and procedures for themselves and everyone around them. They tend to be decisive and strong-willed, and sometimes they get a little bit impatient with their partners, which means that they really do need to work a little bit at relaxing, letting go. They want something that is going to be a standard for them. They want a relationship that they can rely on, and they want to be able to have their values and their ideals within the very center of their home. They love productivity, and they're going to notice anyone who is unproductive. They're very enthusiastic, and they're driven to fulfill their responsibilities. They take their duties and their commitments very personally, especially when it regards their family. They will put God first and family second. Everything else comes later. They are going to put a lot of effort into making sure that they meet their obligations and responsibilities and their duties, especially as related to their values. They're dedicated, they're committed, and they want a lifelong, unaltered relationship with their spouse. Don't forget, though, they like to be in charge, and especially of their mates and their children. They do have a lot of respect for traditions and institutions, and they expect that their mate is going to have the same kind of respect for them. Remember, they don't tend to have a lot of patience with people who see things differently than they do. Their strengths are that they're very enthusiastic. They tend to be upbeat and friendly. They're stable and dependable, and they want to promote great security for their family. They put a lot of effort into their duties and obligations, especially their commitments, and they want to make sure that they take care of those day-to-day responsibilities within their home and their family. They tend to be conservative with money, and they're not really threatened by any kind of conflict or criticism. They really do want to resolve conflict, and they take commitments very seriously, and they're going to look for a lifelong relationship. On the weakness side, they always think that they are right, and they always want to be in charge. They're going to be very inefficient and very frustrated with people who are not efficient. They become impatient in those kind of situations. At times they may really look like they lack feeling or that they are insensitive, and they may hurt other people's feelings because they use insensitive language. They also at times tend to be a little bit materialistic and status conscious, and they're going to be very, very uncomfortable with change to the point that they will avoid it. Now remember, when it comes to an ESTJ, they're going to put all of their effort and energy into making sure that their relationship is fulfilling and committed. They're stable and secure. And once they make a commitment, it is unalterable. They're going to have a strong, dependable nature, and they're going to really want to have traditional roles and security. Remember, though, they do tend to be highly energetic, and they never seem to be at a loss to perform their duties. They're very strong and they're always right, and everyone should really listen carefully to what they have to say. Then they'll be able to understand how things really are, and that the world would be a better place if you were to listen to the ESTJ. They have a strong, confident self-image, and they can also be a detriment, though, in those interpersonal relationships because they are not very pliable. They have to be valued for their commitments as an individual and also as what they contribute to a family and to their relationship. They also are aware that other people might have things to offer, but let's remember, they need to remember always that the ESTJ is perfect. They know the right way of doing things. They tend to be very robust, enthusiastic, and athletic, and they're going to really want traditional sexual encounters. They want to have them on a regular basis. They're going to look at intimacy as a physical experience for closeness, rather than really to express any kind of love or affection. When you look at your ESTJ, remember that they tend to be a guardian, even a protector. They want to shield and protect their families, and they're very good at it. And you should enjoy and appreciate those benefits in this respect. But also remember that they do have some controlling aspects which go along with their really strong desire to shield their loved ones. And this means that they are going to find it their duty to teach their spouse how to behave, or what attitude to take in certain situations, or how to handle a particular experience. However, they will also freely give approval and affirmation when they are impressed by their mate. Whether it's positive or negative, remember, take what they say at face value because they're very honest and very forthright when it comes to how they feel. Now, remember also that they love to spend time with others. They're extroverted. They want to socialize. They get their energy by being with others, and they're going to be happy and impressed with their mate's behavior when they enjoy being with others. Remember also that they are very interested in any kind of event that is going to be associated with their family or work. They are very social, and they're going to bring an emphasis on socializing to their relationship, but only after you get your work done, because socializing would be the reward for the work. They're not very in tune with what people are feeling, and that goes along with their sensing and their thinking preferences, but they can be very unobservant as well. This will obviously create some problems for mates who do have the feeling tendency or the feeling preference. So make sure that if you have that feeling preference, you need to know that you may feel at times very hurt or even neglected by your spouse. And that honestly, the best thing that you can do is to give them lots of gratitude. The kindred souls for the ESTJ are the ISTP, the INTP, the ISTJ, the ESTP, and the ENTJ. So let's look at why we have chosen those kindred souls. So our natural attraction to people who share our dominant function, but who use it in different directions, works very well for us. We not only flip-flop that introverted or extroverted trait, but we're also going to flip-flop the judging and perceiving trait. So in this way, the partner that we choose for ourselves is going to have a very different approach to dealing with the external world. But if we're laid back and indecisive, then generally our partner is going to be structured and decisive. And if we're reserved, our partner is going to be outgoing. For all of our apparent differences, though, we do still have a common vision of what's really important in life, and that creates the foundation between these kindred souls. Although we really believe that this model is going to work well in finding and maintaining healthy relationships, it's important to remember that it's only a guideline. Just a guideline to help understand and to give some tools and some ideas of things that value in a relationship, but they're not meant to be followed strictly. So remember that any two well-developed individuals of any type can make a relationship work, and work is the key problem here and the key concept, because there's no such thing as an effortless relationship. So don't use these ideas as an excuse to really dump your relationship.